Ladies and gentlemen, have your attention, please. Our first speaker is going to be Bernd, who is the new CEO of Cumulocity. I think for most of us here, probably it's a new company. Cumulocity is a spun-off of Nokia Siemens Network. And Bernd is going to be talking about taking smart grid to the next level with M2M applications and big data. Please could you give him a very warm welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much for the nice introduction. And yeah, I guess just a word to Cumulocity in addition to what just was mentioned about it. So we just spun off the business from Nokia and Siemens Networks, which was a joint venture, or is a joint venture between Nokia and Siemens. And now the reason for us doing so was that we believe the fast-growing machine-to-machine market in general, but also the smart grid opportunity will be better capitalized, or we can better capitalize on that opportunity in a separate entity, in a separate company who's able to do business decisions for a market which is a high-growth market rather than being part of Nokia Siemens Networks, which is more like a mature telecom-oriented market. So there has been various reasons, and the strategic decision was made to spin off that company. The whole company is starting with a workforce of 35 people, so we are not too many people. It's actually the former business line of machine-to-machine from Nokia Siemens Networks. And we expect to grow that company fast. We have the first projects ongoing, obviously, and then moving forward from that. Okay, so that was a bit introduction about the new name Cumulocity. And for the engineers of you, so Cumulocity stands for Fast Cloud Solution. That means basically it's a compound word of cumulus, cloud, and velocity. So it's a kind of a compound idea coming from some of the engineering team. Okay, so how do you envision your business? So we talked about Cumulocity and what we are doing on our business. So how do you envision your business going forward in the smart grid domain? And basically, where do you see your strategic opportunities in the field of smart grid? Yesterday, you have been hearing a lot about advanced metering, smart metering, and building up the, let's say, the foundation of smart grid, talking about demand, supply, and other key capabilities. And I like to move actually your thoughts farther towards an internet-based world where smart grid is part of a wider internet community. So basically, if smart grids will be in many ways similar to the internet we have see today, or then the future converged internet, which includes smart grid, then shouldn't utility companies adopt a smart grid internet strategy or become a smart grid internet company? That's a bit like the thought of my short presentation this morning. So in the internet, the main winners of the internet in terms of capturing business value are the content providers, the service providers, and the ecosystem builders. And I think in smart grid we have huge and large opportunities to do exactly the same, especially from a utility point of view, targeting end customers, consumers, and offering a solutions capability so that the end users can actually select third-party applications and sources to combine that with your existing capabilities. I have some examples for that going forward. So the critical success factor in that future I'm describing is data management. That is a very important part. Many people refer to data management as big data, but in a sense it means that you need to compute a massive amount of data, as you all know from smart metering projects. And then you need to simplify and make that data accessible and hopefully monetize that data in a secure and a private way towards third parties. So critical success factors, data management, software capabilities, openness, open platforms, open tools, open capabilities, and the agility that you can basically do everything on a go. So there is no long-term strategy to be applied. You need to be very agile in your technology choices, in your business choices, and try things out, basically, rather than and plan everything from A to Z. Good, so from a utility provider to a smart grid internet company, it's a transformational challenge rather than a technology challenge. So it's really, offering you from a customer, from an end customer, the energy or utility services you're doing today towards an environment where you offer proactive, customer-centric capabilities, which are integration, interactivity, customer-centric, I mentioned already, and the intelligence. So what I mean by them is the integration means really that you need to have the end-to-end integration of all possible points, endpoints, but also aggregators and smart devices, etc., so that you really have a holistic view about what is happening in your network and towards your customer and what type of end appliances your customers are using in the future. Interactivity stands for that balanced supply and demand. I think that's obviously the biggest topic, especially with the renewable energy trend. And for that, you need to have a solid data source and also opt-in models and motivational models for your customers to apply in a positive way a balanced demand-supply pricing scheme, for example. Customer centricity, it really means that everything you do is around your end customer. Keeping your customer happy and satisfied is the most important part. And that means also in the future offering them tools and capabilities from an internet domain so that they are well informed, they can use their own energy reporting, and they can adapt own applications and solutions and capabilities according to their own needs. So meaning customer-centric means also having an open approach towards an internet-based world. And then intelligence is about the data mining, the data processing, the data capability, and the intelligence to connect the points in making sensible business decisions. And to some extent, not possible for everyone, as we are in a regulated environment, also offering monetization opportunities with APIs towards alternative third-party service providers. Okay, so talking about that transformation, it's a bit of a busy slide. I'm not going into detail here, but it's really about smart steps towards fully fledged smart grids. And taking a horizontal approach will be actually, in our belief, the only way to achieve what I described earlier and become and deploy actually a data-centric, internet-motivated business model in the smart grid. So this shows you a platform on the blue side, and then the yellow one are the devices, the smart meters, the aggregators, the end-user appliances, which are integrated into that environment. And then the connectivity is something often already offered or then offered in cooperation with mobile operators or other fixed operators, so that you can connect to a horizontal platform environment, which gives you then the tools you need in order to deploy your differentiated business strategy. And here are some examples of applications either we have been working on already or then we have been partnering with some software companies in the market. Grid automation, demand response is a hot topic. We did renewable energy management for a wind farm, where we did some forecasting and then forecasting an algorithm for forecasting of traffic capacity supply. E-mobility projects, we did some projects in the Scandinavian area, especially in Helsinki. And then third-party innovations. And And basically my focus is actually now going to be more on the third-party innovations, because I know that most of you know there are a lot of solutions out there for the other 4 areas I'm mentioning here. And there's a lot of existing pilots, projects, or commercialization happening, like the UK is one of the leading markets for smart metering, obviously. So when I talk about third-party innovations, so what do we really mean by that in terms of an internet-based software approach? And that's something I like to give you an example from an internet, I think quite topical example, what Google is doing and how they are deploying their internet strategy. And then I would like to use that as a possible way to introduce a similar approach for the smart grid offering. So there are many examples from Google I could have taken, but I like to take the Google Apps example, as just recently when we spun off the business from Nokia Siemens Networks into Cumulocity, we had the decision what type of IT and infrastructure services we are taking forward. And we decided to be fully cloud-based, so we don't have any servers in our office. We completely only use cloud solutions, as we are also developing cloud tools for customers. We also wanted to rely on cloud services ourselves. So we selected actually Google Apps for Business. It's about 5 million people have selected that solution. It's quite affordable. It only costs several euros per user. And so I think it's one of the fastest growing Google business offerings at the moment as we speak. It offers you, as Google Apps, a set of capabilities like Google Mail. Google Drive is like the IT storage, like a server storage environment in the enterprise domain. A calendar, Google Docs, group functions, sharing, collaboration tools, etc. But what was quite interesting, how they approached the market when they introduced Google Apps Marketplace. And the Google Apps Marketplace is an ecosystem from Google which is fully integrated into the Google Apps environment. So once you deploy and use Google Apps, Google is then incentivizing. I just took a screenshot of my mail browser window. And I know it's a bit small to read here, but I just wanted to show you that there are various Google applications you use, and then you browse through that and you click. For example, we are using Atlassian On Demand. It's an agile software development tool, better known as Jira. Or we're using Zoho CRM, a customer relationship management tool, and others. So when you use your Google services, you click on a button and say, what type of applications could I integrate into my environment? It's pre-integrated. That's the nice thing about it. Then you end up to be at the Google Apps Marketplace, and then you select the application, you click yes, subscribe, you try it out for 1 month or 6 weeks, and then you are fully integrated into your environment, IT environment. So that means your CRM system now use the Google Calendar, your email, your contacts are fully synchronized between your environments. So it's fully integrated and optimized. So there was no IT integration effort I had to do, and I can choose from many thousands different business applications just in an instance as a business user. And I think that is a nice example how things move forward. And also there's some operational benefits to it, like the apps which are using the Google APIs. They are administered via the same admin console, so you can really nicely use the same process you already have for your Google apps for the marketplace, which gives you then access to these hundreds of different applications. So when I talk about third-party innovations in smart grid and how things could look like, I'm pretty much basing that assumption on examples like that. But there are many others out there as well, like Salesforce and so on. So in a nutshell, The business transformation I introduced in the beginning of the presentation is really driving the industry from a bespoke, vertical, integration-led project orientation with a closed environment into an open, internet-driven or internet-based capability and environment. And for that, I mentioned already, I would need to deploy a horizontal platform which gives you capability to connect the dots, to do data analytics, to open up your either your southbound APIs towards multi-vendor devices, smart meters, or aggregators, or any other energy aggregator. And then it opens up APIs towards the northbound, towards your innovators, towards your own business applications or your own end-user applications you like to offer your customers. And then it has the ability to integrate integrate them in a nice, smooth fashion so that your end users have a seamless experience. And here's some examples in the same way I introduced Google Apps. So Google makes you interesting or makes you use the Google Apps in a very price affordable way. So you start using Google Apps, and then it's very easy for you to deploy other additional applications from a marketplace. So they kind of feed you with Google Apps, and they upsell on Google Marketplace applications, which they revenue share then with some of their partners. In the same way as Google apps like the Gmail or Calendar or Google Drive, like the server storage system, you could also define applications in the smart grid environment, which are attractive for your end user, so you get your end user into your ecosystem environment so that they use them, and then they start upgrading with third-party innovations or your own innovations. So examples could be monitoring. I know there has been a lot of monitoring stuff already out there, but still I think it's an interesting one, especially when you open up that monitoring capability with an API so that you can do additional plugins and development on top of it. Controlling, analyzing is becoming more and more important. As you know, because of the energy price increase, there's a lot of requests and demands we are getting about better analyzing tools, identifying, for example, peaks, and then notifying the end users about energy peaks. And there is another, for example, something what we call a core smart grid application. It's the what we call complex event processing. It gives you capability to compute at once in near real time millions of analyses and then inform your customers about certain events happening in the supply of the energy or other utilities. So there's a lot of opportunities to build up these core applications, introduce an environment where you open up your APIs north and northward, so towards the application and developer community as well as towards the devices. Okay, so just to summarize on that platform capability, I mentioned it already. So it's a platform we have been deploying now in various projects. So it's not only developed for the smart grid domain. So we are currently, for example, deploying that in one of the biggest mobile operator domains, and this operator will then offer that to deploy a developer community in the M2M domain, which also includes actually cooperation with smart grid activities. So there will be very soon an operator-branded solution in that domain, which is based on our capabilities, and they will target actually also software innovators in the smart grid area. So the deployment scenario of our platform here is either public cloud, it runs in Amazon EC2, Elastic Cloud 2, or a private cloud, so it can run in any data center, also utility data centers, obviously. The branding options is either using our brand as, for example, an Asian operator has decided to do, so they are co-branding that offering, or then a white-labeled offer where you just put your own brand on it. And then on the big data opportunity, so it's very important now to build database capabilities and tools to prepare yourself for the option to enter into that data opportunity. I'm sure not everyone has decided to do so. I'm sure there's a lot of discussions about privacy and security. However, if you're not starting now to build the options, and if you're not moving now from a vertical deployment into a horizontal deployment, you will not have the option going forward in 2 or 3 years when you decide to do a big data play. So it is basically it includes a cloud-based, obviously, database, what is called a horizontal scalability, which is theoretically an endless scalability in the internet domain. So it scales based on how much servers you add. There's no limitations towards the end of the scalability. It includes already now quite a solid set of data management capabilities, so that you can already start now to try and pilot and try it out for yourselves, or give some customers or partners of you access to these capabilities. Okay, so we are already having quite a lot of partners in that environment. And as I mentioned already to you, we are running several projects, also on the smart grid side. My second last slide, I like to basically invite you to join this growing community. So in the smart grid development, we believe at Cumulocity that the smart grid should move into an open internet-based approach. We believe that's the right strategy, and therefore it is time to deploy a horizontal capability which gives you the options going forward. Okay, thank you very much. That was.
Thank you very much, Bernd. Ladies and gents, if you have any questions for Bernd, please raise your hands so we can come to you and help you get. There's one question, gentleman, please, in the middle. Please could you give us your name, job title, and company, sir? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is interesting. My name is Raghu, and I'm from Cisco. I'm just curious about your analogy between the internet-based overlay on utility companies, how far that analogy will apply, because there is a physical component that's also associated. I mean, what I mean by that is, if you take a pure internet-based model and apply it to virtual value chains like financial services, where there's no physical part, the analogy you can carry to the end, and not supply everything through the information base. But I guess the model breaks down when you have physical things like energy or retail or stores. I was just curious about your observations of how far you can take this model. Thank you.
Yes, it's a very good question, and obviously what we are proposing here is a way forward for a future strategy, so no one can be sure that's the right strategy. I just want to make that clear. You know, the analogical, what we are using is in the telecom area. So I've been working 20 years in the mobile industry, and I've seen a lot of overlay possibilities happening which we haven't thought about. Give you an example, location services in the telecom domain. A lot of operators thought for many, many years it's not possible that anyone else can overlay make an offer like it's available today by many players. That was 10 years ago. Today it's obvious that's possible, but it wasn't actually foreseen some years back. And what we believe is, in a sense, that the future customer request, the end customer request, who are used to have internet-based environments and tools, will drive the openness towards the smart grid area, so that they can apply tools they are used to have and also the openness they are used to have. Is that going to happen? I don't know, but I think there are a lot of regulators already thinking in that direction.
Right, thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Please raise your hands for Bernd Gross, please. Any more questions? Well, that's it. Thank you very much, Bernd. Thanks very much.
Thank you.